Hi there folks, we are here with a quick tip video to elaborate on one of the big picture ideas that's presented in this lesson. So the big picture idea is called static methods. And you've actually seen static methods already. Every time you've been running your code, you've been running it inside of a method called public static void main. Now, you know what the void part means. It means that it doesn't return a value. But we haven't really talked about the static yet because static is one of the most advanced ideas that you're going to learn this year. And it takes some conceptual understanding about objects and classes for it to make sense. So now that you have been working with objects and classes, we're going to talk about two different types of methods, some which are static and some which are non-static. And the ones you saw today in this lesson, in the math class, are static, which means that we don't need to create a new math object to use them. We can use them directly from the class. So let me show you an example of this in the code so that you can begin to recognize the difference. So in your starter code for this lesson, I want to highlight two methods, one which is non-static and one which is static. So I already mentioned that the methods that we access from the math class are static. And what that means is that we don't have to create an object in order to use them. So here, the example in this demonstration is the absolute value function, right? And you'll notice that when we call this absolute value function, we're calling it by writing math.abs, capital M-A-T-H.abs. This is the math class, and we just call the method directly from that class because this is a static method. Now, if you look up here at the top, this is a method that we've used many times before, nextInt. But in order to call nextInt, you notice that we don't write scanner.nextInt. We have to actually first create a scanner, right? This is a scanner object called scan. We create it by calling the constructor, and then now that you've constructed a scanner object, we can use it to call a method. And therefore, this method must be non-static. So the question on all of your minds, I'm sure, is why do we care? Why the difference between static and non-static? Well, that's really a question for a later lesson when you start to design your own classes. But the short answer is that static methods like absolute value basically are like library functions that you can use without needing to create any information first. Non-static methods, like nextInt, require that we first create something in order to use them, because we need to know, by creating a scanner with system.in, where we're going to read that nextInt from. Alright, that's your introduction to static and non-static methods. From this point forward, when you see a new method, you should be asking yourself, is this static or non-static?